Howdy. Much to talk about this evening, so I've positioned the phone for a steadier run until, of course, it falls off. So, end of Twin Dilemma. Lib, can you say nice and loudly your take on Twin Dilemma? Because we're a positive YouTube channel. Hit me.
I've got a mouthful of toast.
She's got a mouthful of toast. I'll start then.
It's right, I'm done.
She's done.
My toast. I like the Twin Dilemma. I like Colin Baker.
She likes Colin Baker.
I have mentioned previously that so far I find him interesting and authentic and convincing and intriguing. And I like curly hair.
Like curly hair.
And I don't think the story is anywhere near as bad as you have previously made it out to be.
Not as bad.
It's a little bit difficult to follow, I would say.
Difficult to follow? How do you mean?
Just it doesn't seem to make very much logical sense in places.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not a bad story. It's, you know, a bit of child kidnapping.
Always love a bit of child
making a comeback.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate
welcome.
that. Okay, so I have a slightly different take, but we've just discussed it before we started, and I was making the toast, the aforementioned toast. And I have to say that I think if this story had dropped midway through a Graham Williams season, it wouldn't have anywhere near as bad a rep as it's got. It's not good. You know, let's not beat around the bush. It isn't a good story, but its flaws are dramatically magnified by the fact that it's positioned where it is. So we've just had Case Van Zani. We could talk about that till the cows come home. First story of a new doctor. Last story of the season. We need to talk about season 21 or whatever we're at, obviously. But so much is putting a magnifying glass on this story and telling this story it's got to be something special. And they've got no money, clearly. I mean, there's some embarrassing aspects of this production. Genuinely, some embarrassing aspects. And when I do the reading around on this one, as we are going to do, as we always do, it wouldn't surprise me to find out if there was, you know, I can't remember. I must know this or have known this. But was this the third script in the pile? Was there some electrician strike again? You know what I mean? There's so much about this that feels such a dramatic drop in quality. And I know that we've gone from Holmes and Harper, what a hell of a writer-director combination you've got there, to, what was it, Anthony Stevens? I can't even remember the name. And the direct, goodness knows. So, yeah. Right, let's focus on Slugs. I can't buy Slugs as a big Doctor Who baddie. I really can't.
But you hate Slugs.
I hate Slugs so much, but I kind of... I resent Slugs. I endeavour to be apathetic about them. Do you know what I mean? This isn't a situation where I want to go and protest about Slugs. I just want Slugs to bugger off. The acting is poor. It's inconsistent. I mean, that bit, jeez, can't we do... Asmail, Lib, will you do my voice for me, please? That's terrible. Absolutely shocking. And
that's actually all I hear when you speak anyway.
So, yeah, I mean, let's get to the stuff we need to think about. Okay, is Colin any good? So my answer is now, yeah, I think he is. I think that there's nothing in this to give him a platform to work from. It is comfortably the worst first story of a Doctor. I mean, that goes... Fandom has told us that a million times over, but fandom is often wrong. Fandom hated the gunfighters for years. So, but no, this is... In no way this... You think about what Doctor Who does now for the first story of a Doctor. You think about how brilliant the 11th Hour was. What a shock to the system the Christmas Invasion was. How The Woman Who Fell to Earth, you know, set in Sheffield, of course. But just how it maximises the Doctor's time, gives the actor something to do, to work with. This story is a mid-season, you know, save a bit of cash before that, whatever story. So, you know, but Colin's decent here. I like the stuff at the end. The smile with Perry is a little bit too late for me. You know, that warmth. Come on, I don't want my Doctor companion to bicker all the time. But anyway.
Well, I think it's better than sexual tension.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm old-fashioned in that way. I'd go with that. But there we go. I want to like both these characters. Or if I don't like both the characters, I want to really like one of the characters. I want one of them to be Sarah Jane Smith. If you're going to give me a Doctor who's abrasive and awkward and tricky to get on with, I have got to like the companion a lot. And let's be fair, Perry's not been given the opportunity for me to like her very much. So I've heard talk that Tegan wanted to stick around. You know, Janet Phil wanted to stick around for another regeneration.
Tegan, Braveheart Tegan.
God, wouldn't Tegan have... She wouldn't have taken any nonsense from... You see that already? I'm finding... Anyway, enough. Twin Dilemma. I'm glad we finished it. Okay, let's be frank. I'm glad we finished it. There we go. I'm not gonna bitch about it anymore, because ultimately, Colin Baker's never gonna watch this. But if Colin Baker does watch this, I want Colin Baker to know I love Colin Baker. And I know he gets upset about the fact that the Twin Dilemma is so poorly regarded. So let's move on. Let's talk about the season as a whole. Okay? This has not been the greatest season of Doctor Who. That is clear. So we started off with Warriors of the Deep, which was appalling. Then we had The Awakening, I think, which I loved. I thought The Awakening was good. Facing the Church, Lib, remember? Well, that beaten to be no name, the Doctor. We will fight the Civil War here. That one. I like that story. Then we had Frontiers. I really like Frontiers. Bit of body horror. I thought that was a real step up, actually. Then we had Resurrection of the Daleks, and whatever your personal preferences in terms of your Doctor Who, you know, the soured formula of Doctor Who, Resurrection works to whatever extent. A lot of interesting stuff there. Planet of Fire. Where do you go to, my Planet of Fire? I liked, you know. And then, of course, with Case Rosani, the greatest Doctor Who story of all time, probably. And then Twin Dilemma. That is not a good rate of return on your season, is it? That is not something that I want to be putting forward as my show. And now, of course, we're left in a situation where we've got this brand new Doctor who is approaching the part in a way that is very distinct from anybody but Hartnell, really. Maybe Troughton, early Troughton. You know, maybe. And, you know, if you're being ultra generous, see, I'm being very judgmental there, you would say that in some of the more awkward moments of Tom's tenure, you know, there's similarities there. But for crying out loud, he tried to kill his companion a couple of episodes ago. That is hard to...
He was just regenerating.
I totally get it. But I go back to what I said. This
stuff... You're going to turn me into some massive bloody Colin Baker defender.
Why not? Let's have that. Let's do that.
Fine. Well, I think you're being mean. I think you're just a bully.
This show has done nothing to help Colin Baker so far. Can we agree on that? Like other regeneration stories set the new Doctor up to be, you know, give them a platform, put them in a good light. I don't think the Twin Dilemma did that at all with Colin. You could put any Doctor in that story.
I think if you look at the... No, you couldn't.
You couldn't?
No.
Why?
You think of Peter Davison in that story. He's a right wet lettuce.
No. Look.
I'm not being just totally onto Peter Davison, but honestly, you're correct, it's not setting up to be likeable.
Yeah, but you're happy with that?
But I'm happy with that.
Okay, that's fair.
Likeable and
that's
grippy.
Fair. And let's be honest,
Who needs that? That's why you wanted a husband, not a doctor.
The next Doctor along, I'll have a very different take, but, you know, the arguments go differently.
Who's the next Doctor?
Sylph.
Oh, it just gets darker and darker.
Darker and darker and darker. So why does it work with Sylph? Nobody knows. Are you still watching this? I don't know if you're still watching this. We've been talking for nearly 10 minutes and it's just gibberish. Right, okay, so there we go. End of that season. On to the next one. By rights, when you break down the ingredient list of the next season, it should be the greatest season ever of Doctor Who. Daleks, Cybermen, the Master, a brand new Time Lord baddie, a returning Doctor. Surely the greatest ever season of Doctor Who. Celebrity historical. There you go. It's all in there. It's all 45-minute episodes. My God, it's like RTD's come early. Right, before we finish up, a couple of things to say. Doctor Who magazine arrived today. Here it is. For the first time in years, I have sat and ploughed through Doctor Who magazine. Not finished it. I'm at the Catherine Tate article. My God, Doctor Who hype is so large at the moment. I'm currently reading an old Virgin past missing adventures story called Venusian Lullaby. First Doctor and Ian and Barbara. Hilarious, stupid, daft, brilliant, right? I'm reading nothing but Doctor Who books till the end of the year. That is the decision I have made. We've got the special in a couple of weeks' time. I'm seeing Paul and John and their respective families, my family and their respective families, on the 9th of December to watch the final special and see what I presume will be the regeneration to Shooter Gatwa. The new, that we've just had the announcement that we've had, we're going to have a Christmas Day episode again. Which is Shooty's first story, surely, I think, given the title of it. Man alive, honestly, I'm so hyped about Doctor Who right now. Peek behind the curtain, I really enjoy doing these videos. If you've sat till nearly 12 minutes, honestly, 10 people watch these. I don't know where you live, don't know who you are. I know some of you, obviously. But this is proper fun. Thank you for that. But genuinely, I have not felt so buoyant and ebullient about Doctor Who for so long, and it just makes me so happy. So, look, let's never forget this. No matter your opinions of the Twin Dilemma, and you are fully entitled to your opinions of the Twin Dilemma, you cannot have City of Death every time. You can't have the Caves of Androzani every time. You have to have these stories now and again. Now, the crying shame is that this story comes at the end of a season that should have been ace, for the start of a Doctor that should have been ace. There's so, and it just looks so cheap and poor and tacky. But never forget, without stories like this, we wouldn't have the next story, whatever that might be. It's Attack of the Cybermen. We wouldn't have the next story and the story after that. So, don't get fandom, whoever you are. Don't get too down about these stories, because you've got to have the bad ones for the good ones. And Twin Dilemma is okay. There we go, that's due. See you next time.